one of two lives. Gonna go live when I get back to the Airbnb with my father. First ever JE live doing that, father-son. But welcome in, everybody. What a win. Getting revenge on the Lions. God, that team irks me. So I'm so glad they got the win. But crazy. Really impressive stuff. Obviously love it. We'll get into it, but what a game. I'm right outside of SoFi. And 41-34. Matthew Stafford clearly looks like the MVP of the league. You just got to tip your cap and give Aiden Hutchinson some credit. Made an incredible snag. But, Stafford, MVP, Drake May, wet the sheets against Josh Allen today. So it's got to be Matthew Stafford, really no one close. They're going to push Josh Allen, number 2. I already know it. But yeah, Stafford's the MVP. The run game looks really unstoppable at this point. You got to tip your cap. The Rams, while they were struggling in the passing game, defending that defensively, they had a great game plan to stop the run. They really bottled up, whether it was Montgomery or Gibbs. We talked about it. They were going to have to do that. They did a great job in doing that. So, man, just really impressive stuff. And it really goes to show you that had Poona Ford been healthy, they've won 9 straight, but they lost to Carolina. And I said, that Carolina loss is probably the last loss of the year. I still think they win on Thursday with or without Adams. I still think they're the better team. I think looking at what the Colts did today, I didn't watch the full game, but the fact it came down to the wire, that's really telling. Against Grandpa Phillip Rivers, the fact you needed a game-winning field goal on your own turf against the Colts, who have lost, I think, 7 of the last 9 or whatever the hell it is, that's really telling. So yeah, I'm not really too worried about that game. I know a lot of people are, but I think the Rams, everyone focuses on what the Rams didn't do and how I left SoFi thinking the Seahawks were the better team. That they don't really talk about how, the better teams find a way to win even when they're not at their best. And so just really impressed with, the job that the Rams have done this year, winning 8 of their last 9. The offense, it just seems like they're scoring 30-plus a game. I've now seen 2 of the games I was at, they've scored at least 40 points. No one talks about that. They talk about the 0-2 at SoFi, now 1-2. 1-2's never felt so good. But they never mentioned that the 2 out of the 3 games that I've gone to now, they scored over 40. So, and you score over 40, you win 98% of the time, I would say. I don't know the actual numbers on that, but, Anyway, so receivers, Puka Nacua scared the shit out of me when he went down, but it sounds like it was just cramps. Didn't look like that from where I was sitting, but we'll take it. Devontae Adams, that's a lot more than just cramps. I'm concerned about that I'm not going to lie, because a hamstring, you can blow it off and say, oh, he'll be back. But those are things that tend to linger. So, I think you have to be cautious of that. Shout out to the tight end room. 12 touchdowns this season. Just incredible job, and Colby Parkinson has been leading the way. Terrence Ferguson, I feel so bad for the guy. He's always open. Stafford's been overthrowing him. But, he's looked so good. He moves so well. He's a fluid mover in space, and they just can't really cover him. Rams Tape says, my Jakey Poo, thank you for the 2. Appreciate you. It's just, I think right now, the offensive line, they were battle-tested today. They really went up against a formidable opponent up front. Hutchinson's one of the best of the best. They have Aleem McNeil up front. They have DJ Reader. They have guys that can stop the run, and yet they still won those battles. And that's really what I tend to lean on, is that this is one of the better run-stopping interior defensive lines in the league. And they didn't really have an issue running the football with Kyron and Blake. And you could see it. that quick trigger is there for Blake now. He's seeing spots and he's just hitting them, not really hesitating. That's a sign of a back that's really growing. And then Kyron he's become even more hard, just really tough yards and after contact guy. That's what happens when you add weight. Wildman Samurai, thank you for the 5. Hey, Jake, thoughts on the Adams injury? I think they should rest him until the playoffs myself. They might have to. I know that they're unsure if he's going to play or not, whenever it is. But I kind of agree with you. I think they probably should and might have a choice, if I'm being honest. This is the same injury. I don't know if it's the exact same, but it's similar injury to what Tutu experienced. And we saw how long he was kept out. So I am a little concerned about that. I don't think it's something that we should just, not, sorry, there's stuff going on. But I don't think it's something that we should not be cognizant of or anything. So, yeah. My guess, Thursday, Adams doesn't play. We see a lot of heavy 13 personnel. We see the Rams really force Seattle into their base package. We really try and take advantage of that. They did a decent job, but one thing they did not do that kind of irks me about the way Seattle was covered after the game, because I've never seen a team win a game without actually winning the game the way Seattle did. And I have a lot of respect, as you know. I say it all the time, roundtable or on this show. Those are the best 2 teams in the NFL. But my biggest issue is that when you look at that game, the reality is Seattle couldn't stop the run at all. And the Rams are a better rushing team than they were even then. And by the way, in that game, Warren McClendon Jr. did not play at right tackle. And they've been way better since Warren McClendon Jr. has taken over. So it's no knock to Havenstein. I think he was playing banged up and he's getting up there. It's a good sign for the future with McClendon, although he did struggle today a little bit with Hutchinson for sure. Tough matchup. But, no one mentions that because it doesn't fit a narrative. But going up against Seattle, having Warren McClendon there is going to help. Not having Adams is going to hurt. But at the same time, I started to see something today. Actually, I've been seeing it. They went back to early on in the year when they just felt like they were trying to force feed Adams in the red zone. It didn't feel natural. And so now it forces the Rams to have to be a natural red zone offense and go back to what works. And now all of a sudden, they had 3 rushing touchdowns today. They had 2 touchdowns to the tight end. And those are the things that are consistent. Those are the things that will work. You can do them consistently. And now I don't want to shortchange Davante Adams and what he unlocks by being out there, because now they have to be cognizant of the fact Davante Adams has 14 touchdowns in the red zone this year. If he's out there, you saw the bracketed coverage. It actually opened up the door for an opportunity. And then when the guys peeled off and covered Blake Corum underneath, Stafford didn't really expect that, so he just threw it up. But, those are the things that, those are the things that you can do when, your offense is opening up opportunities. But that said, Matthew, thank you for the 5. Well, the curse is lifted. Damn right it is. God, I was so tired of hearing that. Leave SoFi Stadium. Yep. Flew 3,000 miles away to get out of... Yeah, my father's with me. That was the underlying thing there. But, we're getting ready to leave and maybe get some food and then record. Looking forward to that. How about a damn Pro Bowl bid for Parkinson? Dude's been balling. I don't know if he has the yards, but he's been playing out of his mind. And, it was so funny to me about Colby that you guys will remember I was really high on Colby. And he struggled last year when he had a chance to really take over. He had a chance to take over for Tyler Higbee. And so to see him finally playing this way, it feels good, because this is a player that was a really good athlete at Stanford. You saw how he can be used as an inside-outside tight end, good blocker. They signed him for his blocking ability, but I always felt like that was kind of overblown, because it wasn't just a blocking tight end. Like, you saw his ability to go up and get the football. Today was his best game, but he's been on a tear since. And the Rams don't look at it like we have George Kittle, we need to have George Kittle. They're like, we'll have a combined 100 yards in the tight end room, and that'll be good. So I just was holding that in a way that was totally messing up my wrist. But anyway, that's the thing. The Rams have really turned this into, kind of a all hands on deck type of team. And when you spread out the ball like that, it makes it really difficult for defenses to, contest, and defenses to, be aware of what you're doing. And that's what you got to do. You got to keep them on their toes, So absolutely love what I've been seeing from the offense. Defense has been a little bit of an issue. They did not hit Goff nearly enough. Now, I know I sound like an asshole because I'm just like, yeah, hit a quarterback, right? Hurt him. No, I don't want to hurt him. But you got to get it in his head, because if he just, as you saw, if you just let him sit back there and, just have all day to throw, I mean, he could just rip it. He's got natural arm talent. That's the reality of it. So, to see him just sit back there was really irritating. And then, of course, the secondary gets a lot of blame. But in reality, they go hand in hand. If the secondary has to cover forever, and this is a total cluster. Oh, my God. If the secondary has to cover forever, then, is it really the secondary's fault, or is it the pass rush's fault? And that's the reality of the situation. As we finally were allowed to cross the street. It was incredible. Truly. Brewhog, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you. And Deb, how's it going, Deb? How about that MVP of his, right? Thank you for the 10. Glad you got to see a great game, and I love how Parkinson is playing. Still would like to work on connection with Ferg. The D is concerning me. We have to pressure Darnold. Yeah, and apparently the Colts did a really nice job of that. Don't worry, my dad's going to be driving, so I can stay live. Won't be live too long because I don't want to give away the show later, but, But, yeah, let's see. We'll go. Anyway. Yeah, so it seemed like the Colts were able to get after Darnold. They don't have the best offensive line, so we'll see how things go. But, yeah, I'm excited about some things, concerned about some things, but hey, it just sounds like a team going into Week 16 at this point. I mean, Patrick Mahomes just tore his ACL. There's a chance that Micah Parsons just tore his ACL. So it could be a lot worse. It's that time of year where, the wear and tear of the season really tends to get, be a gripe. And, it's a bummer to see those players get hurt and everything. So, but Tutu Atwell is back at the right time. I can tell you that. Another thing I want to point out is that the Rams decided to sit Ahkello Witherspoon today. And I still wore the 4. I still rep the 4. There are people asking me, did you know about this ahead of time? Why would you rep a jersey of a player that's not playing? Well, because one, it's a Rams jersey, so I get to, essentially rep the Rams. And number 2 is a little bit of a protest. I disagree with the decision to not play Ahkello Witherspoon. I don't necessarily think he had to start today, but to make him inactive, I thought was really stupid. And yeah, I thought all the corners, they kind of were put in a tough spot because there wasn't a lot of pressure. But that's the thing. So yeah, that would have been great if getting copyright claimed by my what?
Yours is on there. I can't put the directions in.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what's going on. This is irritating.
I'll figure the rest of it out.
Yeah. All right. Puna is him. Oh, my God. He's the most important by far.
Such a huge pickup.
He's everything. He's so important to this team. It's crazy. So. Dad reveal, please. There he is.
Hey there. I'm repping the Eric Dickerson. He didn't play either.
See, we rep 2 jerseys of guys that didn't play. I think a lot of it, though, with Ahkello is that they had a game on Thursday, which, God, the scheduled makers really hate the Rams for putting the Lions and then the Seahawks on a short week. I still think they win. I don't give a shit. But because they played a physical game against the Colts. That's going to, that's the funny thing is that's going to be the narrative going into this game. They'll be like, oh, the Seahawks are going to have no issue because the Rams played a tough physical game against the Lions. It's not like y'all were sitting starters at the end. I mean, you literally needed to go down the field and kick a game-winning field goal to beat a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers that just came out of retirement and hasn't played since 2021. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. And Darnold was hit plenty of times. The offensive line got worked from the sound of it. So, we'll see what ends up happening. Deuce Falco, Jake's curse is lifted. Huge win. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Yeah, what can I say? Very happy leaving SoFi with the win, 41-34. Never take it for granted. I do love points, but yeah, that was fun. I very much enjoyed that. I can have my complaints, I can have my nitpicks and whatnot, and we'll talk about them on our show, but, just kind of the rapid reaction live after this, I just feel real good that I'm right about this team. And I know I'm right because they won this game. I think this is a game that the Rams could have lost in the past, to be honest with you. This is an offense that has just gone beyond well-oiled. They are beyond a well-oiled machine, whatever you want to call them after that, whatever the next step is. I mean, the fact that they can just go out and get 41 when the defense gives up 34 is huge. And the Stafford interception, I mean, it was just a great play by, Hutchinson. I don't want to discount that because it's like, as annoying as that team is, trust me, they're annoying. Like, you got to give credit where credit's due. It's not giving Stafford an excuse because Stafford can't throw that, and I don't really love when Stafford throws the screen pass. It's kind of rough to watch, but because he throws that kind of side on, I don't even know. It just doesn't look like the best screen pass. We'll just say that. But that said, that ball, that was just an absolute snatch and grab by Hutchinson. So you just got to give credit where credit's due in that case. My guy Alex coming in with the 5. Victory, Jinya Ramen. Probably not, but hey, appreciate it. Shout out Jason for being the real reason the Rams won today. Important game today, but even bigger game Thursday. Let's
light
go.
Man too.
Yeah. So
take your hat off.
Hat off.
Yeah, so the light isn't getting blocked out.
Like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, appreciate you, Alex. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing our show. I'm looking forward to being in a controlled environment. We're in this, it's a cool car, but you feel every single bump, which isn't the best holding it. It's probably going to make me nauseous. So, yeah. So right now, the Rams sit atop of the NFL. They're the only team, I believe, today that clinch a playoff spot. I think the Broncos might have, but the Rams are the first team. I know that. I saw that. So Rams are the first team. I don't give a damn who's on Sunday Night Football. Could not care less. I think it's Dallas and Minnesota. Like, that just doesn't have any – that doesn't move me 1 millimeter one way or another. Abolish the NFC what is it? South? Yeah. What? Just an absolute joke. Embarrassing. Truly embarrassing. The Panthers lost. Tampa lost. Tampa lost to the Falcons. The Panthers lost to the Saints. It's kind of a joke. One of those teams is going to represent their division. They are going to get a playoff game. Not a fan of that. But, yeah, Rams got Seattle, then Atlanta on Monday Night Football. They got 2 primetime games the rest of the year. So that's pretty crazy. The next two out of the next 3. Then they got the Cardinals week 18. And it's funny, at the tailgate, by the way, loved meeting all of you that I met at the tailgate, people I didn't get a chance to meet. Like I always say, I'm sorry. It is impossible to meet everyone. Shout out to SoFi. They make it really tough to meet with people. Cool stadium, absolutely impossible. It's not the staff's fault, but the staff is very tough. Doesn't let you, you can't just like roam around. You can only be where you can be, where your ticket is. So that makes it really difficult to meet people. So sorry if I didn't meet up with you. That's a big reason why. But the tailgate was great. Shout out to RWO, Rams Republic, all those tailgates. Really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that went up to me after the game or before the game. I mean, just love meeting everybody. It was a lot of fun, man, and it's like I just kept telling people because they're like, do you think we're going to win today? I'm like, I don't think they're going to lose another game. Like, I think Carolina was the last game. And if that's the case, I mean, this team literally, they lost 3 games, and those 3 games came down to the final play. I mean, that's pretty damn good. They didn't have any of those, what the hell is going on? And they've had those in the past. They had those the year they won the Super Bowl. The 31-10 loss to the 49ers, the 27-16 loss to the Titans, the 36-28 loss to the Packers. That was close, but it didn't really feel that close. So, need to get to the owner's booth next time. Yeah, right. Appreciate the super there, Bella. Yeah, it has. I mean, I hate to be that way, but yeah, it just feels like those 3 games the Rams just beat themselves. Because the problem I don't love about that is it takes away credit from a team that had to do their job to win. Because you can't have it both ways. You can't just be like, yeah, complain about the way Seattle's covered and how they did everything. They were the better team or whatever the media wants to call them, and they actually outplayed the Rams and should have won. And then be like, yeah, the Rams, they found a way to win. You just give them credit. And then when the Rams lose, it's like, oh, well, they beat themselves. Don't give any team credit. The Rams, so I don't want to do that. But I get what you're saying. Definitely not driving back to New York. No, not yet. Not driving. Flying. Never driving back to New York. That would be ridiculous. Yeah, flying back on Tuesday, which, that'll be cool. But yeah, these trips are fun. I haven't done a father-son trip like this since 2017. We came out and we saw the Rams, and at the time, the Washington Redskins. It was Sean McVay's second ever game, and they lost. they lost that game. That was a pain. He came out with me with my best friend Tyler. We saw the Rams beat the Packers. That was the Ty Montgomery fumble game, so there was that. But yeah, love being out here 3 times this year on the West Coast, and 2-1 in those games. And the only game that they lost out of those 3 was a game where it came down final play. It was the 49ers, of course. But then we got a 42-26, and then we got a 41-34. So can't complain. Yeah, it's good stuff. Plenty of stuff we'll be able to talk about. But yeah, just wanted to go live after the thing. Really wanted to go live right after, but I was trying to meet people. And like I said, it's just a damn zoo. So hard to get around, so if I stated. But it was really cool. Shout out to Ernesto for hooking me up. Amazing seats. He and his girlfriend were awesome. Really loved hanging out with them. And everybody that was around, it just really cool atmosphere. I mean, there was one asshat who was a Lions fan who just would get up and cheer every 2 seconds anytime the Lions did something, including when Devontae Adams got hurt. Shout out to you. You're a prick. But, those people exist, and he went home losing, so there's also that. Twisted One Visions, thank you for the 5. Great game. Really felt the crowd's energy tonight. Wish Jared had more of a presence. Glad you had a good time in LA. Hope you visit again soon. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I want to point this out. That timeout that the Lions called was because of us. It was because of the Rams house. You constantly hear whose house, Rams house. I felt it today. I really did. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't feel that in the Niner game. I didn't in the Eagle game. It felt very 50-50 in the Niner game, and I felt like there were more Eagle fans than Niner fans at that game. This felt like the Rams fans took over. Now, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of Lions fans. There were. I'd probably say it was 70-30. I was so impressed. This was so loud, and it just, you could really see it was affecting the Lions offense that they had to call a timeout. And there were other moments too. I thought, Goff got a little rattled at times. You got to give credit to Goff. I thought he played well. I mean, I looked over at my dad and I was like, I watched film on this team and this is not their offense. They ran a completely different offense against the Rams. Maybe this is what they've been trying to use all year and they just haven't been able to use it. And the Rams being in whatever they were in, because I didn't really get a chance to see. I was watching section 130 for those asking. So like when I'm up, in the 500 section, where a lot of you were making fun of me for, I could see more about, it's kind of hard to tell from that, but I loved it. It was a great experience. But yeah, like I mentioned in my video, guys, Jared Goff just doesn't throw deep down the field this year. And then today he was letting it rip. So I am with my father. He is the reason this channel exists and my fandom exists. So, man, that was a fun game. Yeah, Stafford's definitely MVP. Definitely MVP. So that's what? He threw 2 touchdowns, so he kept his 2 touchdown streak going. It's the most in the NFL, I believe. It's 8 games in a row or 9 games in a row, 2+ touchdowns. And what else? Yeah, so that would put him at, he threw an interception. So that would be 5 interceptions and 37 touchdowns. Do I have that right? Yeah, 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. So, yeah. Kyron and Blake just look so good right now. And the offensive line run blocking, it's really impressive to look at. I just really like where they're at right now in terms of that. That's one thing I'll say. When you have the pressure that Stafford faced today, that was probably the most pressure he's faced in a minute. I would have liked to see them run the football more. Good as they looked, I just feel like they got away from the run. I feel like McVay almost got a little startled. Like, it was like, oh, they were down 24-14. Let's just pass. And I'm like, yeah, you got to run the football. You got to keep them honest. And the cool thing is, again, going back to what I was saying earlier when I was outside of SoFi, is when you're able to run the football against Lee McNeil, you're able to run the football against DJ Reader and, this defensive line, it's really, really good stuff. So, because when you could do that, I will say this with confidence, I don't think the Rams will have a hard time running the football the rest of the year. I don't. Like, Super Bowl, NFC title game, just once again, just a really good, if you look at oh my God. Well, we're definitely not showing that. If you look at the rushing stats, right? The Lions, awesome. The Lions had, 3-something yards per carry? And the Rams, 3.5. And the Rams had 5.6. So, yeah. That is where we're at. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That 2-2 catch was huge. And by the way, he did get the first down. I don't know why they put it at 2nd and 2. That was clearly a first down. Not running over any pedestrians. It was a car on the side, like, brutal. Like, I don't even know what happened to it.
How that could happen on a street like this is beyond me.
You're driving too fast if that's the case. I mean, yeah. Absolutely was a first down, Carlos. No doubt about it. Gonna thank Brandon for Parkinson. Oh, I definitely will. I definitely will. You got Parkinson playing like that, and he gets to go against his former team again. He goes back home. Yeah, I don't know. I think right now, if I had to guess, I think the Rams win 27-20 on Thursday night. And yet what's so weird about that is it's hard for me to pick 27 because I just feel like this team can score 30 plus every game. Zaylor Swift, thank you for the 5. If our secondary can hold up, we can beat the Seahawks. Kobe Turner really shined today. Yeah, I thought Braden Fisk was great too in the run game. And I mean, Poona Ford, to me, he's everywhere all the time. He's inevitable. I mean, the fact the Lions couldn't get anything going with Gibbs, I mean, it really made them a one-dimensional offense. And that's where the pass rush has to get there. But they did enough to stop him. Banker Elpris, thank you for the 2. F the Lions, F the Lions, F the Lions. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm definitely glad to see the revenge. That felt good. You know, one of my biggest gripes about that, not the death threats that Alexis and I received because we had an issue with the way Kirby Joseph dove into Tyler Higbee's knee. Not the fact that we also received death threats because we criticized, Craig Rolstad. He missed 3 penalties on the final play to Puka Nacua. We all saw it. We all know it. Anzalone is just about as dirty as they come. He hit him in the head. Nacua was being grabbed. You could have called anything. You could have called helmet to helmet. You could have called pass interference, and you could have called holding. You could have called illegal contact too. So 4. So didn't call any of those in the playoffs, right? So got death threats for that from Lions fans. Not all Lions fans, but like I said, it happened. And then on top of that, I actually wanted to root for them. And they made it so hard for me to root for them. And my biggest thing is, as a fan of NCAA basketball and a Kansas fan, my thing has always been, if you knock my team out, you better win it all. And the Lions knocking the Rams out and celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. And, they went on. They beat the Bucks. They go to the NFC title game. They pissed away their chance at going to the Super Bowl. And in turn, I felt the Rams could have been there. I didn't think that was the best Rams team we've ever seen. Part of me thinks 2023 was better than 2024, if I'm being honest with you, in some facet, because I think Stafford was better in 2023, personally. But it was really frustrating because the Lions knocked the Rams out, and I felt like the Rams could have gone to the Super Bowl that year. And the Lions not only that really irked me. Just irritating. So irritating. I'm not saying every single one of them, but Anzalone is a constant, violator where you see Puka Nacua, his head is banging off the ground because the way he throws him down. I don't like the way they play. I see a lot of Bounty Gate Saints when I watch them. I'm not the only one that sees that, so that's always kind of been my thing about that.
And Dan Campbell.
He's a meathead who goes for it on 4th down all the time. The fact he went for it on the 29-yard line, if they missed that, they should have just fired him right then and there. That was so idiotic. What's good? Thank you for the 5. Hey, Jake, the curse is broken. Good stuff, Rams. How long will Adams be out for? And could Kello play Thursday Night Football since the secondary struggled? I think Kello will play Thursday Night Football. I think they wanted to give him a week. I think it was a stupid decision. I absolutely disagree with it. It's not that it was stupid for him to be benched. It was stupid for him to be inactive. Because if you have injuries, and we saw two starting wide receivers go down, Nacua and Adams, almost like a drive later, right? 5 plays, 4 plays in between each other, they both go down. It is a reminder anybody can go down. So if you were to just happen to lose, Forbes and Durant goes down, well, regardless of how you feel about Akello, regardless of how you feel about those guys going down, now you're down to Darius Williams, now you're down to Josh Wallace, who's playing a completely different role. He's not technically playing outside corner. He's a star. He's trying to fill in for Quentin Lake. And then you're down to Darion Kendrick, he's also a star, and he doesn't really play on the outside. So it was just a stupid decision, I thought, to make him inactive. Absolutely disagreed with it for multiple reasons, and yeah. So we'll see what ends up happening. I think he'll play Thursday night. I don't expect Adams to play. I would be kind of annoyed if they tried to force Adams in there. I get it. It's an important game. I'm not saying it's not. It's incredibly important. But at the same time, if you force Adams into that role, and he gets hurt, I mean, you got to think bigger. You can't just force him in there, because if he does get hurt, then your Super Bowl chances get really tough. Not saying they can't do it. We saw them do it. Robert Woods went down. OBJ went down the game. They were throwing to Ben Skoranek and an injured Van Jefferson. Was so injured, he literally started off the next year injured for playing in it. So, yeah. Vic, thank you for the 2. When do you think Lake returns? Probably divisional round of the playoffs, maybe NFC Championship game. Good question, though. They do miss Lake. We're starting to really see it, I think. And I like Josh Wallace, and they really like him. But he's not Quentin Lake. He's a good player. He's not Quentin Lake. And he's going to get better, but he's not Quentin Lake. Bella, thank you for 5. Top down, we have an amazing organization. I remember darker times in the 80s. Yeah, I mean, this is the best organization in football. I mean, from top to bottom, you have an owner that is able to fund everything. You don't have to worry about him, being, bitchy about money. And, remember when Khalil Mack was, a superstar, the Raiders? They didn't pay him because Mark Davis didn't want to pay him. Could you imagine that? That's not a football decision. That's not making a football decision. That's insane. So the Rams don't have to worry about that. Then on top of Kroenke being, able to foot any bill, he also goes out, gets the right people, and then lets them do it. He's not Jerry Jones. He's not trying to interfere. Then you have a GM that's not afraid to make any move, right? And he's also really knowledgeable about the scouting. And he's got a really good scouting department that works with him. Then you got the best head coach in football. Then you got what comes with the best head coach in football is the best coaching staff in football. You got guys all over the place. So many future head coaches, in my opinion. I think Nate Scheelhaas is going to be really good. I think he'll end up being an offensive coordinator next year, maybe for Shula, who knows. But, they're just in a really good spot. I think this is the best roster they've had, as I've said over and over and over again. So I agree with that. Mas Tortillas, thank you for joining and becoming a member. Appreciate you. Let's see. Thanks, mods. I can see the comments you're deleting. Not that they're offensive. They just insult everyone's intelligence, so appreciate you. I love, when you have these random-ass fans of other teams that just say, y'all gonna go one and done. Thank you for contributing nothing to the dialogue. Your dialogue actually put me to sleep. It's just so stupid. Unreal. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Probably gonna hang up on this because it's been a minute, and I want to save some stuff for us to talk about because my dad and I are gonna do our first ever JE Live. Hope you guys are there. It works just the same, JE Live, because Jason Ellenbogen, Jake Ellenbogen. So there you go. How about that? So better show up. No, I'm kidding, but I would love for you to show up. Really appreciate everybody being in here. Be sure to hit that like button on your way out. Check out today's sponsor, of course, Sleeper. Be sure to get a 100% bonus match up to $100 using my code JKB. And also be sure to use the link in the description below. And if you haven't already, you got to use that $20 free entry. It's sitting there. If you haven't used it, you don't even have to deposit anything. So definitely be sure to do that. JE Live will be when we get back. I'm seeing 24 minutes, so 7 p.m. Rams time. So we might get something to eat as well, but it'll be before 9. That's what I can say, right? You can say that with confidence.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be before 9. Well, looking forward to it. He's making his debut, so he's been on video before, but we've never done a show together. So
yeah, usually like this when we're in the car driving from Florida or something.
Yeah. Yep. Jimmy G getting signed, Cam Curl. Still can't believe the Rams got Cam Curl for nothing. Anyway, we will get some food, get set up, and then we'll go live from the Airbnb. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys again. Appreciate everybody following in. You know, this dude is a maniac. I don't even know what he's doing. Putting on his right blinker, and then, like, I think he tried to veer in the left one. Anyway, a lot of stuff's going on. Appreciate you guys. I will see you soon with my father. Later, folks.